This is Justin Amazon on Thursday, August 9th, 2018. And there was not really anything going on pre-market, just sideways. So we're looking at the whole day. Opened up, pulled back a little bit, threw this upper wick in. People were buying and maybe got stopped out if they were just trying to buy it at the open and it didn't work. We had a selling candle yesterday to open and then moved up. We had a selling candle today. Put in a little bit of a lower low from that and then rallied and went up the rest of the day. I'm wondering if, knowing this price that it came back to using the open, if it would be better to move it to the previous all-time high at 18.80 and 5 cents. It worked much better to have this bounce here yesterday, but today it seems like it bounced off of a little bit higher range. Or it just was trying to trap people who were had a stop here and stop them out and then went on higher. So the price I'm talking about on the daily is using this all-time high, using the high instead of the open for the level that I've got drawn in here. So we'll see if we interact. Here we go. We'll see if we interact with this price range again. And it's just a matter of moving it a couple dollars. I mean, it's a matter of basically getting in with a great entry or getting missed, or getting in with a value here with a stop $5 below. Would have worked both on both days. So if you got in at 18.80 and a stop at 18.75, that's a $5 risk. That would have worked yesterday and today. So I like to be very precise, exact, but doesn't always work that way in the market. So just having an order sitting out there with a defined risk is something that it could pull back through it, hit the stop on its way down, entry then stop on its way down, or it could hit the entry and continue on higher. You get a great setup, or it could completely miss the pullback you're looking for. And all those have happened and will continue to happen. So if we jump over and let's just kind of walk through this how this moved. We got above the previous, got above the 5-minute candle high and went sideways for about 20 minutes, stair-stepping, and then rallied up, came back down to retest that level. It just seems like every time it broke out, we retested. Imagine that. Broke out here, came back and retested that high. Broke out here, came back and retested, these 15 minutes here, kind of the breakout level, and pulled back into the exponential. This broke out here, immediately came right back into it. This went sideways, and then, this level here broke out, came back to it, and then just continued rallying. This was a small pullback. It was kind of the first warning shot that, okay, hey, we've been going up quite a bit. Let's get another pullback into the 21, and then maybe we'll go higher. And people were still buying up here. Now, it is nice that it didn't make another all-time high here and then just trap everybody. I mean, there was a chance to get out. Like, this is the higher high, this is the lower high. And so all of a sudden you got this this little bit lower peak here that we didn't quite get up here. So people start to wonder, is it going to, or do I need to tighten my stop? And maybe this was a bunch of people getting stopped out. It definitely was people getting stopped out, but also people shorting because it just worked to short here. Well, maybe it'll work to short off here. And this is a really nice pattern. 25 minutes of buying here. A really tiny candle. We had small candles like that here on the way up. This one now at a pivot, and it collapses. This, you could have traded this candle alone. And let me zoom in on. Oops. Let me zoom in on the day to look at the sentiment of this candle. The highs are the same. 19, yeah, that's right. We're in the 1900s. 19, 13, 50 cents. These two highs are the exact same. It's not a tweezer because this one's bullish and this one's bullish. This one would have to be bearish. But what it says is, people are starting to sell right here at the same exact price. We've got 25 minutes of buying. That was pretty much the most we did all day in a row. This was the last time we did it here, including two small candles. And then we had just a little bit of a bearish candle continuing. Okay, then we had a flag, and that flag came right back into these much smaller candles and then bounced. Well, now we're coming into another small candle here, and our pullback, obviously it has to, doesn't have to, but we have a pullback starting here. It doesn't have any room to pull back into that same candle. That candle's so small. So it pulls back into, oh, look, this candle, just like this one did. Like these two candles, these small candles, that's where we pulled back to here. And then this, that's where it pulled back to here. And then it continued lower. And this being a new neckline, broke that down, recovered a little bit. And some folks were buying this, looking for that to be a larger retest of, this resistance, this breakout, pullback. It's that range that it's that's bouncing from. So people were thinking, oh, great, it pulled down to where I want it, where I missed it earlier today. I'm going to buy it here. So people were buying it on this candle. A lot of people, much higher volume. Like this is higher volume on this one candle than there was any single 5-minute period after the 15 minutes, after 15 minutes into the open. So, these volumes here to open us out, that's normal for an open. This one, very unusual. And so what happens? Well, it starts to work, goes up a little bit higher, and then plummets. Okay, now anyone who just traded this candle bullish is down half an hour. And it stair steps, and it drifts a little bit lower. But up here, it's like, oh, maybe it'll recover now. This candle almost gets to break even if you got in somewhere up here. These two, oh, all right, maybe I'll be down a quarter hour. Okay, this one, oh man, I didn't move my stop. Now my stop's going to get hit, and then you get stopped out. Or you moved your stop up to here, you got stopped on this one. You moved it to here after 25 minutes, and you're stopped out as soon as it comes down here. And that's about a 0.75 R loss if you're trading, somewhere in this candle by the low. So if we take a look at the 5-minute, one thing I wanted to look at here to show is that the pullback here and the pullback here, very similar prices on the stock. And the option, if we're going to get back into the same price on the stock, the option is actually going to lose some value. Even though this is a little bit higher, the option should lose value because we're a day closer. I mean, not an entire full day, but 4 hours here, for a little more than 4 hours here in the day trading time when the market's open for options. We've lost 4 hours of premium to get to this candle approximately. So anyway, if we switch over to calls, this was the value to buy yesterday, 4 by 3. Today that would not have worked, but that because it pulled back to here yesterday. Now it pulled back further. So you could do a setup instead of 4 by 3, do 350 by 250. That might have worked. It just depends on what the value was, this purple line, theoretical option price, to see what it could have done. Or even a $3 by $2 trade would have worked here. And that was similar to what was going on with the breakout. Somebody could have bought this breakout, just buying here, stop below it, and that would have worked very quickly. So now that's what we're considering here is this guy pullback. Now, if you weren't that aggressive and you wanted to see some more candles, this is a great pattern on the option. You'd actually have to go a little further out than 19, or actually out of the money. So we can look at the 1925 to see, okay, did this form, but then how do we reevaluate it here? Or now what? Can we play the low here, thinking that's going to hold? Maybe. That would have been a phenomenal risk reward. Trading this, break it above, stop below, that would have been a little more challenging. Maybe a $200 R or something like that would have covered it. But not for this, not for what we're doing. This is a $100 R. It rallied up here, did somewhat of a small double top, broke down, retested, and then continued lower. And this one continued right on down into that price again. So this price, it'd be good to have something that says, okay, if it comes back down to here, this is where it broke out. If any of this decides to pull back, that's a good entry. Get in here, stop down here, $200 risk. and then it ends up bouncing from there here, pulls back again, continues. So, I mean, there was even opportunities to buy here at the low and flip it out that same 5-minute candle. So have the rules and your plan for how you want to set up a trade when you see it doing something like this, making all-time highs, curving. You know, it's a good place to learn some lessons on how to trade this thing. So I did want to also show the puts. The puts started to break down, recovered, but ended up forming a double top. So if I look at 150, so look at the 150 price. That's this price. That's not even indicated below. So you probably could have just bought either market order, which I don't like, but you would have kept it from moving, or just bought 4x3 or 4x3 would have worked here. 4x3, and then just took it as long as it could go until okay, now we're 5 minutes away from the close. What's going on? And it just had a really nice rally. So that was this collapse. This signal recovery double top. Okay, that collapsed, and I'm not saying it's predictable, but we can set up a plan to say, okay, if we're going to get below this candle, that's going to be a little more bearish on the day trade, not on the primary trend, because that's very much bullish. But we do need to keep an eye out for how long I think these candles are going to last. We've got a lot more volume coming in. This is kind of curving up, and then we've had a certain number of candles in between. And so we have a reference here or possibly to here to kind of be those. And so, count up the candles and see how long this could actually go. So we did actually fire the squeeze, and very similar to this squeeze back here in the pattern, really, because we had this sharp increase in the we were downtrending on the momentum, and then had this little bit of spike, came back down, then rallied the momentum. This one, we're coming down a little more steeply, had this adjustment bullish, another one moving up, and then it fired. So as much as I don't want to say it's going to pull back, it feels like this upper wick and this double top and these candles here looks like it could pull back a little bit more. And we'll see if it pulls back into the same price range or what it could do. But just like we had this continuation initially, a couple candles flag and pull back while the momentum carried. And so it could happen again here. It could go up a couple more candles, pull back, and during the pullback, it could be continuing with the momentum up, just like this. This one triggered, and then the candles continue up. The momentum continued up until it went sideways enough that the momentum shifted. So right there to see something like that happen again. What's really interesting is that since earnings, there's been a bit of a higher volume on some of these moves. During these consolidations, the volume is a little higher here. Consolidations through here, a little bit declining on it. But anyway, it's just something to compare these kind of different scenarios, seeing things actually forming, and then seeing what's going to happen with the movement. It's going to just continue to ramp up. What's interesting to see is if the 2018 price can get there this year, which feels very, very good that it will. So I just thought that was ironic that we actually have a stock approaching, not even approaching yet, but I mean, where this is moving, it could be a couple of days to get up into the 2018 price. But if that were to happen, I mean, there's a lot of other things that have to just line up right for this. And then once it gets to 2000, some people are going to be selling pretty hard right there. It's like, why should it continue going on? That's the question. How these work. And we just get better by studying it. So we enjoyed the different perspective. just starting into the day and see how this could work. Hope you enjoyed the video. This is Justin Amazon. Thanks.